Primary Care in Hammond.
And my name is Grace Stiegler. I'm a health coach for the North Oaks Smoking Cessation Clinic.
Everybody knows the danger of smoking, but are you aware of those associated with electronic cigarettes, also known as e-cigarettes? Vaping, the use of e-cigarettes, has quickly become a trend among young people. So what makes this trend so popular?
Right. Aside from peer pressure, the manufacturers of these products are trying to pitch them as having all the benefits of traditional cigarettes without any of the problems. But as we learn more, we know that they are addictive, they cause financial stress, and they increase your chance for a heart attack.
E-cigarettes pose a significant but avoidable health risk to young people. In addition to that, in addition to increasing possibility of addiction, long-term harms to brain development and respiratory health, e-cigarettes are also associated with the use of other tobacco products that can do even more damage to the body. Even breathing cigarette aerosols that someone else has exhaled exposes potential health risks.
Right. And these aerosols from the vaping devices do contain fewer toxic chemicals than traditional cigarettes, but they contain nicotine, which we know to be highly addictive, and other potentially harmful chemicals that are linked to lung cancer. These include ultrafine particles that can be deeply inhaled into the lungs, volatile organic compounds, and heavy metals like nickel, tin, and lead.
E-cigarettes can also be a gateway to other tobacco products such as regular cigarettes, cigars, hookah, and smokeless tobacco.
Right. So you want to tell your children about the harm of nicotine in any form and what it can do to their developing bodies. Nicotine, we know they're obviously at risk for nicotine addiction, mood disorders, and permanent damage to impulse control, really. And nicotine changes the way the synapses are formed in the brain and can affect areas of the brain that control attention and learning.
Some evidence suggests that vaping is linked to alcohol use and other substance abuse, such as marijuana. And certain e-cigarette products can also be used to deliver other drugs like marijuana.
Right. And some people think that, are suggesting that having your youth who use vaping devices, that it actually is like a protection against them using traditional cigarettes. But we know that there's no real evidence for this.
Know the risks. It's important to prevent harm to young and the youth and young adults from e-cigarettes. Everyone has a role, including parents, healthcare providers, teachers, and others who work and care about young people.
Right. For more information, you can contact your primary care provider, North Oaks Primary Care Hammond, or the North Oaks Smoking Cessation Clinic. We can take any questions that you have now.
I have heard people ask if vaping is a good way to quit smoking cigarettes.
Personally, vaping is not a great way of quitting cigarettes. As we discussed earlier, it can potentially increase the risk of using things such as cigars, cigarettes, and other smoking apparatuses.
For most of the patients that I've worked with who have attempted to use vapes and didn't succeed at it, they end up coming in because they actually become dual users. So they actually are using vapes and cigarettes. So they kind of end up doubling instead of actually coming off of the regular cigarettes, right?
What is juuling?
Juuling is a brand of vaping.
Right. It looks like a little bit like a USB port, so that's why it's kind of becoming popular for a lot of young people. It's just another form of it, like you said.
Is hookah the same thing as vaping?
Yes, hookah is another form of vaping in that it delivers smoke directly to the lung. As with vaping, it does bring certain chemicals directly into the body.
Right, and hookah, you're able to add a bunch of different products to it, so tobacco and things to flavor. You're at risk for a few different diseases, outside of cigarettes and traditional vaping, because you actually end up sharing the hookah mouthpiece with others, so it can actually lead to gum disease in that sense.
In addition to gum disease, you can be even more prone to other diseases that are passed on by respiratory contacts as well.
Yeah.
That's all the questions.